Hi guys, this is Jay here from Teach for India. I'm a recruitment associate. How are you guys doing today? Okay, so do you know why we're here? Right? The next 1 hour, I'm going to take you through what we do as an organization. More importantly, why we do what we do, and what is your role in all of this. So, have you guys played the word connector game? Where I prompt a word and you tell me a word which is related to what I've told you? Yes? No? Maybe?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to plot a word in front of you right now, and I need an answer as to what you think most relates to the word on the screen. Right? So yeah, that's the word. Light. What comes to your mind when I say the word light?
Brightness.
Okay, brightness. That's one answer.
The ability to see things.
Cool. So do you know what comes to my mind when I see the word light? Any Potterheads in the house? Maybe. Albus Dumbledore. Happiness can be found even in the darkest of times. Only one remembers to turn on the light. Anyway, so that's what comes to my mind. But the more important question is what comes to our mind, Teach for India's mind. What do we think when we see the word light? Or we use it in what context? Potential. This is the first thing that comes to our mind when we see the word light. The potential to change mindsets, the potential to change values, the potential to change the entire landscape of this nation and the society as a whole. That is what comes to our mind when we see the word potential. Right? Now, how are we going to do this? Where is this potential? Where is this opportunity? I would like you to hold that thought about where this opportunity lies. I have a question. Do you think India has reached its potential?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
Yeah, even I don't think so. I'll give you a stat. India ranks 130th out of 186 nations on the Human Development Index. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Human Development Index is, it's a metric of development used by the United Nations, wherein they measure three important things: life expectancy, education, and per capita income. And it's a weighted average of all these factors. So we rank 130th amongst 186 countries. It's a shame, really. But from amongst all of these factors, what I'm going to focus on is education, or very honestly, the lack of it in our nation. Because that is where I'm going to lead in, and that is where the opportunity lies. Right? So that's where it is. I want all of y'all to look closely on the slide. Look at these children. This is where our opportunity lies. Right? Now, why? You'd ask me, right? There are lots of uneducated people in India. Not all of them are children. So why do we focus on children? Why do we focus on this impressionable young people rather than focusing on the adults? The answer here is very, very simple. Right? Now, how have we come to be as we are right now? Right? Our experiences, our ecosystem, the environment that we grew up in shaped us to be who we are as individuals today. And that is the precise reason why we are focusing on children rather than adults. Children who do not have access to education. And that is where our real opportunity lies as Teach for India. Right? So this is what it is. Now, exactly how big is this opportunity? Right? If I had to quantify it, how big is the problem and thus the opportunity? The state of education in India, right? If I had to get a few answers from you guys, you would be like, it's in a pathetic condition and, there's not really much scope. But how bad is it actually, if I had to quantify it? In India, the population is about 1.2 billion. If I had to convert it, approximates to about 120, 130 crores. The child population out of the 1.2 billion is about 320 million, which equates to about 32 crores, which is about 25% of the population, which is a huge chunk, right? So these are the people that are going to be the future generation of our country, and they form a major chunk of what our population or what demographic currently looks like, right? So now what I want you to do is, I want all of you guys to stand up, right? Imagine all of you represent the 320 million people or the 320 million children that we have in India. Cool? Can all of you stand up, please? Okay. Now I want approximately 4% of you, right? I want about like 12, 13 people of you to just sit down. Okay, sit down. So now, Can you tell me what is the difference between the people that have sat down and the people that are still standing? Any answers? Okay, so you all don't know. So I'll tell you what it is, right? The people that have sat down have never seen a school. They have never been enrolled into a school. They've not seen what a classroom looks like, what's a chalkboard, what is a pen, what's a pencil, what do you do with those. They have never seen a gate of a school. That's what those 4% represent. Do you know what 4% equates to? Out of those 320 million, it represents about 12 to 13 million. That's about 1.2 crore children in India out of those 32 crore children that have never seen a school. Now I need you to hold that thought because it's just about to get worse. Right? Now out of the remaining people that are standing, I need about 42% of you to just sit down. So that means another 42 of you to just sit down. Right? So now can someone tell me what is the difference between the people that are standing and the people that have just sat down? And including the ones that were sitting before? No? Okay. So the people that have just sat down have enrolled in a school definitely, but they've never gone past 5th grade. So what I'm saying is they've never completed the basic most elementary education or the basic primary education that we've gone through in our lives. Imagine. So about 45% of 320 million people, 4% of which have not gone to schools at all, and the balance 42% that have gone to schools, they've dropped out in the 2nd grade or the 3rd grade or maximum the 5th grade. They've never gone past the 5th grade. I want you to ask yourself this question today. If you have not gone past the 5th grade, or if I would not have gone past the 5th grade, would we be where we are right now? Would I be standing here making a presentation to you guys? Would you be sitting here in one of the best city colleges that this country has? Or, would you be doing so fabulously well in your courses that you are doing? Would your values have been shaped in the way that they are? Would you be doing so? Would you have access to the opportunities that you have right now? And the answer to all of these questions is no. Because you would never have gone past the 5th grade. So forget, getting to all of that. So these people represent that. They've never gone past elementary school. Shocking, right? But again, I needed to hold that call because it's just about to get even worse. Now I need about 90% of you to just sit down. Just 10% of the students here, please remain standing. 90% I need you to just sit down. Okay? So now can someone tell me what the difference is between the 90% of people that have sat down and the 10% that are standing? The 90% of the people sitting down here have never seen what a college is. If I had to simplify it, this air-conditioned classroom that we are sitting in with this projector facilities and nice big French windows and all the facilities that this college gives us or college life gives us, they've never had access to any of these things. If I had to quantify it, 27 crores out of 30 crores, the children population that I'm talking about, they have never gone to a college. Which means they will not have access to any job opportunities that you do after college. They will not have access to any further studies that you do after you finish college. In effect, this is the workforce that we should be having as a country, but which we can't because they are not skilled enough. It's because they've not had access to any of these opportunities, they've not had access to education. And you need to realize that these are the same people that are going to be the future generation of our society. And that's how big the problem is. But if I have to look at it in some other way, or in the way that Teach for India looks at it, it's one of the biggest opportunities that we have, not a problem. Right? Imagine a gap being there in a market. Right? What does a company do? They fill that gap with the necessary products and services. What we've identified is a big gap in our society. The gap which is of education inequity. And we're looking to fill that gap. And that's where the opportunity is. And that's what I needed to believe. Now, what's the solution to this problem? What is it? How we're telling you that this is how big the opportunity is, how are we looking to tackle it? Right? It says leadership, but I'll say you. You, me, and everyone who has had access to the best in class facilities, whose moral compasses are in place, who've had privileged access to the best teachers, the best institutions, we are the leaders that are going to shape how this country looks like. And if we possess this, it's only fair that we pass it on to people that have not had this access. At Teach for India, we believe that leadership is that one quality that if we properly harness it, it has the power to change or accomplish an insurmountable task. That's what we believe at Teach for India. Leadership is that quality, and you and me are the leaders that we are looking to engage in this movement, and that is how we plan to solve this problem. Which brings me to my vision statement. Now I need all of you guys to read this aloud.
One day, all children will attain an excellent education.
Right? One day, all children will attain an excellent education. Now I need you to focus on two keywords in the vision statement. The two keywords are all and excellent. Now I'll tell you why I've singled out these two words from the entire vision statement. Right? All. What does all signify? Very simply put, all means every person or every children, so to speak, needs to have an education, needs to have a quality education, right? It can be the son of a billionaire or it can be son of a normal labor man, but all of them need to have this education. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not a privilege. They are entitled to this, just as you and me were. We were entitled to an education, so we did. We were not, of course, we are the privileged ones that had that, but make no mistake, it is not a privilege that we are giving them. It is an entitlement that they have, and we are just giving them that entitlement. And that is the mindset that we are trying to cultivate amongst the leaders. That it is something that all of them deserve, not just some of them. Right? And the next one I need you to focus on is excellent. Now, we need to understand that excellent education or the quality of education has a direct correlation to social equality in our nation. I'll connect the dots, I'll tell you how that happens. Quality education leads to better skill development. Better skill development will lead to better access to opportunities. Better access to opportunities will lead to better pay or better earnings, so to speak. Your per capita income will balance itself out, and which will eventually lead to social equality. So that is what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to achieve a balance. We're trying to bring this society to be on equal terms. And the only way in which can happen is the gap in education, or the gap in education quality can be resolved, is why we focus on the word excellent. So not just excellent, not just any education, but excellent quality education is why we're looking for the best leaders from across the country to lead this movement, so that the quality of education imparted to these children does not suffer. That's why we focus on these two words. Now moving on, coming to our vision statement. To build a movement of leaders who will eliminate education inequity in India. So as I said, what we're looking to do, we're looking to build a movement of leaders. When I explained to you what leadership meant to us, this is what it means to us. We need leaders, and leadership is the one key skill that we've identified that can solve this problem. And that's why we're looking to build a movement of leaders to solve this issue, because we believe that the children deserve the best. And hence, we need to build this. So who are these leaders? Who am I talking about? Right? I'm sure you all want examples. So who are these leaders that we are recruiting to lead this change that we so believe in? If you look at the faces here, and look at what they've done. Marilyn Fernandez, right? She's from St. Stephen's in Delhi, which is one of the best colleges in the country. We have your Jacob Roshan, who's from IIT Chennai. I mean, I don't need to tell you all how difficult it is to get into IIT or how prestigious being in an IIT is, right? So they come from some of the best institutions that this country has to offer. Who else? We have Aditi Rao, who's from the University of Oxford. I think Oxford and education, the best in class education go hand in hand. Who else do we have? We have Vishal D, who's from BITS Pilani, one of the premier engineering colleges in the country. We have with us Rahul Jaiprakar from Schlumberger and Deepa Mahesh from Target. Target is one of the biggest retail chains after Walmart in the US. She had a 10-year experience at Target. Schlumberger is one of the biggest not one of the biggest oil services company in the world. They come from reputed organizations like this. We have Garma Minocha from McKinsey. She's part of our 2015 fellowship batch. McKinsey is one of the best management consulting firms in the world, along with your Bains and your BCGs. Who else do we have? We have Karthik Hariharan from PwC. PwC is one of the top 4 tax and audit firms in the world. So make no mistake, this is not a passion project. We are passionate people. We really care about what we do. But you need to understand the people that we have, the people that we've recruited come from some of the best organizations and institutions in the world. They've killed it in what they were doing before. They've demonstrated their ability to lead, their ability to persevere, their ability to act as the situation demands. So they have these qualities and now they've come to lead this change. So it is not just a passion project for them. They've killed it in what they've done and they're here to actually, change the landscape. After having already, surpassed expectations in whatever they were doing previously. So make no mistake about it. These are highly qualified people that we select or recruit for Teach for India. Because as we said, every child deserves the best and we give them the best. So, diversity is one topic that I really need to touch on, right? We at Teach for India really believe in diversity. Why do we believe in diversity? I think diversity is that one cornerstone of any organization where if it's built properly, you can have broader perspectives, broader mindsets. And once you have that, that is the one true quality that you need to actually develop a nation. Once you have broader mindsets, broader perspectives, it brings in a level of tolerance, right? And that is one key quality that we need to cultivate in these children who are going to be leaders tomorrow, who are going to be working tomorrow, who are going to be a major part of the society tomorrow, right? So, in keeping with diversity, we recruit from 484 colleges and about 828 corporates. Fine arts, humanities, finance, consulting, name the field and we've recruited from that. The only one common thing amongst all of these guys is that they believe in our vision and mission and they believe that they can change stuff if they really want to change stuff. That's the only one thing linking all of them. Right? So that's what diversity is. Now, as I told you, Teach for India is a highly ambitious program. It's a highly rigorous program, right? While you are in the fellowship, one, it's a 2-year commitment, right? So you need to, be there for 2 years. The second part of it is that while you are at it, the fellowship will put all of your abilities to test. Your leadership skills, your perseverance, your ability to remain self-motivated, and the most important of all, your ability to function in a highly resource-constrained environment. We'll put all of these qualities to the utmost test. And hence, our selection processes are highly rigorous so that we only intake those that can, effectively hold up to these qualities. And that's primarily the reason why, we got about 13,500 applications last year. Yeah. So we got about 13,500 applications last year and we only ended up selecting about 7% of them. Yeah. So, about like say 70-75 recruits out of 13,500. And, don't get me wrong. This is not because we want to be highly selective of who we choose. Make no mistake, the task that we are facing is humongous. And we need every leader who's capable enough to hold up to these qualities to come in and do a job. But it's only so that, and this is at the cost of reputation, we believe that these children should get the best in class services and the education that they deserve, that they're entitled to. Is why we are so selective that they do not suffer. So the best part about you guys here is that if you hold up to these qualities, say if 15,000 people apply this year and all 15,000 of them hold up to these qualities, then all 15,000 of them will be in the fellowship. And that is a promise. Because that is the kind of task that we are facing. We need every soul that we can get. Right? So think about it. Think about whether you really want to only talk about change or, want to play a major role in affecting that change. Do you really want to just talk or you want to walk the talk? Right? I'll be free for any questions, and we can have an informal interaction after, after this is done. So yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot.